Here we have a new refreshed 2023 Nissan Altima. And this Altima comes in the beautiful gray sky pearl. And then we have our black sport cloth and leatherette interior. And this one is going to be a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated with a CVT, getting you 188 horsepower, 180 pound-feet of torque. And this one's going to come in that 2.5 SR trim level. And as we get to the front end here, we have the LED signature daytime running lights along with the LED headlamps. And I really like how they did this grille here, nice and big. And then you've got that sick SR badge in there. I'm so glad they did that. Really makes a huge difference for the front end, even though it was just a slight refresh. Things like that really make it stand out. And of course, with the updated headlamps, just a really good looking car. And then down here, we have 19-inch aluminum wheels. And I even like how they put the SR kind of embossed in that wheel. Just really cool. And this gray sky pearl is just a beautiful color. We get passive keyless entry on the front two doors. And then over here we have the controls for our power windows, power door locks, and power mirrors. Then you have a one-touch up and down for the driver's side. Cup holder there, little storage in there as well. And then there we have our power driver seat. It's going to be 8-way. Now, before I forget, let's go ahead and take a look at this window sticker. And I want to give a huge shout out to John Roberts Nissan for allowing me to review this vehicle today. But there we have all of our standard features. And I really like how you get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the Nissan Safety Shield 360 is standard. And for this paint color, it's only $395 for that option. Definitely worth it in my opinion. And here's the back door panel there. Pretty decent storage. Let's hop in here. Yeah, very impressive legroom back here. I'm 6'3", and I have the seat adjusted for someone of my size and how I like to drive up front there. So very, very impressed here. And I still have about ½ an inch to an inch of headroom. And then down here we have a USB-C and a USB-A charging port. Always nice to have. And we have pockets in the back of the seats here. Well, just in the back of the passenger seat, excuse me. And then there we have our center seat that folds down. You have cup holders there. Let's go ahead and check out the trunk space. So before we pop the trunk, there's our back end there. And an identical rear end for this 23. And I like the sound from that dual exhaust. And a generous trunk size here. We have floor mats as well that come with this particular model, along with an emergency roadside kit. And then of course you can hang grocery bags here. Pull this here to fold down the back seat, and I'm going to show you how that looks. So when the seat right here is up far enough, this will fold flat, and then you can pull things through here if you have long pieces of wood or want extra storage that you want to be flat. And here's our front passenger seat there. And I love how you have the leatherette bolster and then you have that cloth insert there. Really nice look. And I will say I do like that you get the rear side airbags in this Altima. A lot of vehicles have kind of tried to shy away from using so many airbags, but I like that you still have those rear side airbags in this one. Of course, they help with your crash test rating. But I just like having extra protection for my rear seat passengers. Let's go ahead and pop this hood. And then we have that 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. And I love how easy that is to close, and a nice thud to it. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat here. It's a nice leather wrap, flat bottom steering wheel here. I love how Nissan has done these, of course. I've said that in many of my other reviews. But over here to the radio, we have AM, FM, XM, along with Bluetooth. And like I said earlier, you also get that Apple CarPlay, Android Auto too. And then we have our backup camera with guidelines, and as you turn the steering wheel, the guidelines will follow you to show you where you're headed. And it's nice to have those rear parking sensors too. Here's a look at our home page. And you can customize the actual menu there. Then you can set up your vehicle data transmission, as well as a few other features. And I'll show you your info there. Now, one thing I will say is, I believe the higher trim level Altimas do have a new screen, and I kind of wish that that was here. I'm gonna test one of those out hopefully later in the week, but just still a little, it's a simple system, easy to use, just a little slow for my taste, but for under 30 grand, can't really complain. And here we have our AC controls here. Then down here, USB-C, USB-A, and an aux input. And these USB ports, of course, are what you can use to use your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Then a 12-volt charger there. And our shifter here, we just hit the button behind, reverse, neutral, drive. And we can go into low mode there. And we have paddle shifters as well behind the steering wheel if you want to manually shift that way. 2 cup holders here. Decent sized center console cubby space. Nothing that's getting in the way, just a really nice space there. And I really do wish that we could get LED dome lights, but they're fine. Put your sunglasses in there. Pretty good size to put bigger glasses. And there's a view of the back seat from up here. And there we have our glove compartment, which is actually a very, very nice size there. Now to the steering wheel here, we use these 4 arrows to go through our gauge cluster. I like that we have a digital center there, and then we have actual analog gauges on either side. And then we have our track list or radio station preset controls here. Volume controls here, back button there. And then to the right side, we have our cruise controls and then voice recognition controls here. Headlamp controls, windshield wiper controls. And then we have our push button start. And finally, here's our key fob with remote start.